was actually a great fashion week in Paris. All forms of human life were there. We had a raging controversy with Saint Laurent. We had some very cinematic storytelling with Louis Vuitton and Lanvin, and everybody else upped their games brilliantly. I'll remember this week very fondly.
We're in our last city and we've seen a lot of things already. And honestly, I don't know that there's been so much that's really resonated until I think we're hitting Paris now. Now it's coming together. Now we're seeing collections with a lot of personality.
When I was at Dries Van Noten and kind of the first models started to come out, I sort of sat up in my chair and I was like, oh, right, okay, so the stakes have been raised. And that's kind of the way it's felt during Paris, just that people have been pushing it higher and higher and higher.
What I love about Valentino is the fact that they've respected the codes of the brand, but evolved them to a new level where it feels familiar but not repetitive.
I'm French and I belong to an amazing house, so I wanted to take it back, mixing with all the richness of Balmain.
I feel like Karl speaks in fairy tales and he has such a sense of history, which I love.
The Haida woman is moving into the future, but she's also looking to the past.
Every season we're exploring different sides of the brand, and I think that for us this season it tells a bit of the history of the brand in a way that we feel is modern in us.
I think that Alexander did a great job, but it's a different Balenciaga now. You know, we have to accept two different moments. We could not compare. I don't like to compare a designer to another one.
For me, the big news is Hedi Slimane. I've never heard a collection so reviled, so discussed. And I think that's good for fashion, because you've got to have drama, you've got to have people being angry and passionate. But I think it's probably official, Hedi Slimane is the new bad boy.
Sometimes fashion's theatrical. I think this season it's been very cinematic.
I think last season everyone felt fashion-wise that they had to do something different, and I think there was a feeling of wanting to do something familiar this season rather than reinvent the wheel.
The setting and the clothes. I was sitting there thinking of Hitchcock's Rebecca.
Yeah, or David Lynch or Polanski. Yeah, I wanted something a bit cinematographic and mysterious.
It wasn't really supposed to be any kind of pastiche of Hollywood, but there were certainly references to a lot of different French, American cinema.
You know, when you're watching a runway show and you're seeing those shapes coming down the catwalk, there is something, dramatic and cinematic about it.
You know, people kind of scrabble for trends, but I think there's always this moment in Paris when everything fragments and it just ends up being designers doing what they do incredibly well. And sometimes new trends are born out of that, but mostly it's about designers kind of really reveling in themselves.